Now he would find himself heralded as the NBA's biggest new star. 7 teams had qualified to participate in the draft lottery for his rights, and each dreamed of Patrick as their new savior.
The #1 pick in the draft will certainly be Patrick Ewing, the 3-time All-America out of Georgetown.
Ewing was the key at that time, and everybody knew going into the lottery that if you could get Ewing, you got a franchise player for the next 12, 14 years.
You know, I wanted to go to New York. New York was my first choice.
And as each successive pick unfolded, Ewing and the Knicks moved closer to a mutual destiny.
Yeah, I really didn't get nervous until it got down to the last 3. And then all of a sudden, boy, I started sweating. I said, you know, my God, we got a chance.
With 2 teams remaining, Ewing would either be a Knick or an Indiana Pacer.
I was like, let it be New York.
The second pick in the 1985 NBA draft goes to the Indiana Pacers.
Basketball is back in New York City, my friend.
In Ewing, Knick fans saw a hero to revive their once proud franchise and quickly thrust him into the New York spotlight, long before he took the court.
He's going to take us to a championship in New York.
They see Patrick Ewing, you know, the star of the Big East, come into New York, and yeah, they expected a championship right away.
His much-anticipated professional debut was the hottest ticket in town, and it was only fitting that it came against Moses Malone, the league's most dominant center.
Third year. Misses, and Ewing says hello to the NBA. Well, Moses just got introduced to Patrick Ewing.
Somebody shot the ball and came over his back and got the dunk. You know, that was like, yeah, Patrick Ewing era is done. Then Moses kicked my butt.
It was to be the first of many lessons Ewing would be taught that season, as he would find for the first time that he was unable to dominate at will.
So it looks like a frustrating evening building here for Patrick.
Though he would manage to win Rookie of the Year, talk of a championship in New York had halted, as the Knicks would once again finish in last place.
Oh, it was rough. I mean, my rookie year, we won 23 games. I got hurt. They were booing us.
In his second year, the Knicks would win only 24 games, as Ewing would once again fall prey to injuries and inflated expectations.
He won on every level, and people expect you to come in and turn the franchise around right away. Well, basketball is a team game, and one person can't do it by himself. And the first couple of years, he had some injuries, and I think the fans got down on him a little bit.
Yeah, I remember one time we had a Patrick Ewing poster night, and I had been hurt, and I came back for that game, and I had a bad game. I remember people ripping the poster up, throwing it on the floor. It was rough. It was rough.
But even at the low point of his 2-year pro career, Ewing's confidence remained unshaken.
I felt bad for him, and when I finished my post-game remarks, I walked over and I put my arm around him and I said, "You doing okay?" And he looked over and, like he always did, and he said, "I'm fine." You know, and I walked away from him that night thinking this guy's going to be great.
Though Patrick remained hopeful, New York fans bordered on despair. And in the anguish of their fallen expectations, they looked to Ewing for an answer. But instead of responding with colorful quips or dramatic statements, he answered in the way he knew best, with stoic determination.
He kept a blank face at all times, and he really didn't talk to the media much, but you know he was hurting. You know, you knew it. He had an awful lot of pride. So you knew it, but he never would talk about it.
You're not going to change people's perception of me. You know, I'm intense, I'm focused, and I have something to set out to do, and I'm going out to do it.
Entering the 1988 season, Patrick prepared to again wage his personal battle to revive his team. But now he would finally get reinforcements. New coach Rick Pitino would install a running game that was perfectly suited to Ewing's full-court prowess. And rookie point guard Mark Jackson would deliver him the ball.
the relationship that we had on the court from the first day of practice, something just clicked. And I knew I was in good shape with Patrick Ewing on the floor with me.
Jackson with the step for Ewing. Ewing, good look, layup, good. Jackson with the ball. Oh, Ewing, oh, yeah! Incredible.
You didn't even have to call a play. He knew what I was thinking. I knew what he was thinking. We fed off of one another.
A steal by Ewing. Jackson keeping it alive, finding Ewing.
With Patrick leading the way, the New York revival began.
Alley-oop to Ewing. That'll make the Garden War. Ewing jumping out. And it's a 3-on-1. Here's Ewing. It's all going New York's way again.
And as the season drew to a close, the emotionally charged Knicks found themselves challenging for a playoff berth.
Stefanovic on the move. And it's all over. The Knicks make it to the playoffs for the first time since the 1984 season.
I remember Sidney Green diving on me. I'm on the floor. I'm like, get off my leg, trying to hurt me before the playoffs start.
Though New York would lose to a veteran Boston Celtic team, Patrick made the most of his playoff debut and was determined that it was only the start of things to come.
He knew he was the man, and he knew sooner or later that with the right situation, with the right players around him, it would happen, you know. And the Knicks got the right people around him, and things started rolling.
Building on his postseason performance, Ewing continued to elevate his team and his game.
And now Ewing is turning it on. Rebound Ewing. Who could say Ewing's had an effect? He is controlling the game. Ewing, not the shot you want, but he hits it. Patrick Ewing has hit the 40-point plateau.
Behind Patrick's inspired play, his Knicks set a new standard for home court dominance.
They got the record. 21 straight home victories.
You know, we're going down in the record book as one of the best teams that ever played at Madison Square Garden.
And for the first time in 5 years, Patrick gave New York a taste of playoff success.
The Knicks have swept the 76ers. They have reached the East semifinals for the first time since back in 83-84.
Patrick became the Knicks pretty much. He was our go-to guy. He was our franchise guy.
Patrick's not likely to shoot it from there. Whoa!
Though Stu Jackson took over for Rick Pitino in the 1990 season, Ewing didn't miss a beat. He would be voted the All-Star team's starting center.
At center, making his first start in 4 All-Star appearances from the New York Knicks, Patrick Ewing.
And while Patrick had always been known as a dominant defender,
Top the numbers, Jackson for Ewing.
he would now take his place among the league's top scorers, averaging almost 29 points a game.
He's got the whole package, doesn't he? He's got everything.